All right, so today we're diving deep into UnitedHealth Group.
Ooh, this should be good.
They're kind of a big deal in U.S. healthcare, right?
That's an understatement.
And our listeners have tons of questions.
Like what?
Well, they want the scoop on Andrew Witty,
The CEO.
the one and only. They're curious about how much he makes, how much he's worth, all that juicy stuff.
Of course.
But also, how big UnitedHealth Group actually is.
Like, what do they own? How much influence do they have?
Exactly. And the big question looming over everything,
Hit me with it.
are they a monopoly?
Ooh, spicy.
Let's start with Mr. Witty himself. Who is this guy?
Well, he's been leading UnitedHealth Group since 2017.
Okay, so pretty seasoned.
Oh, yeah. But before that, get this, he was the CEO of GlaxoSmithKline.
Whoa, the pharmaceutical giant.
Yep, he knows both sides of the healthcare coin.
Drugs and insurance, interesting combo.
You could say it gives him a unique perspective.
Definitely. So how has UnitedHealth Group changed under his leadership?
Growth, tons of it.
Like revenue?
Revenue for sure, but also their reach.
Makes sense with his background.
Right. He's orchestrated some major acquisitions, bringing even more healthcare services under their umbrella.
So those tentacles you mentioned earlier.
Oh, they've definitely gotten longer and stronger.
And our listeners want to know, how much does someone like that make?
Yeah, the CEO of a healthcare giant, it's got to be a lot.
Spill the tea.
It's tough to say exactly. These things are always a bit hush-hush.
Of course.
But estimates put his yearly compensation package in the tens of millions.
Tens of millions, why?
And his net worth, probably billions.
All right, so big money, big company.
No doubt.
Speaking of big, you mentioned UnitedHealth Group is everywhere in healthcare. Where exactly are we talking about?
Think about it this way. If you need healthcare in America, you'll probably encounter one of their companies.
No way, really?
Yeah, they have two main branches, United Healthcare, their insurance arm, and then there's Optum.
Optum, what's that all about?
This is where things get really interesting. It's a huge network.
Like what kind of network?
Pharmacy benefit management, data analytics, healthcare technology. They even have their own clinics and surgery centers.
Wow, that's a lot.
Oh, and they're collecting tons of data.
What do they do with all that data?
They analyze it. It gives them major influence over healthcare trends and costs.
So how does this affect everyday people just trying to navigate the system?
Imagine filling a prescription, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the pharmacy benefit manager deciding your copay.
Yeah.
They could be owned by the same company that provides your insurance.
No way, that's crazy.
Or picture going to a doctor in a network owned by the company analyzing your data to figure out your coverage.
That's kind of unsettling.
It's the reality for many Americans.
And this leads us to the million-dollar question.
Is it a monopoly?
Is UnitedHealth Group a monopoly?
That's a tough question.
I bet. It's not exactly black and white, is it?
Nope. It's about proving a company has total control over product or service.
And they use that control to hurt consumers and squash competition.
Exactly. So does UnitedHealth Group fit that definition?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Some people argue their size and influence give them an unfair advantage.
Because they control both insurance and healthcare services.
Right. They could potentially dictate terms to patients and providers.
But wouldn't there be another side to that argument?
Absolutely. Supporters of UnitedHealth Group say they operate in a super regulated market.
That makes sense.
And they say their size helps them benefit consumers.
Like how?
Well, they can negotiate lower prices with drug companies, for instance.
That's a good point.
And they also argue that a larger network can sometimes mean better care coordination.
So it's complicated.
Super complicated.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Andrew Witty's background, the massive reach of UnitedHealth Group, and the whole monopoly debate.
It's a tangled web.
For sure.
This affects everyone who uses the U.S. healthcare system.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is. As you learn more about this, ask yourself, does this concentration of power in companies like UnitedHealth Group truly help patients? Or does it restrict choices and maybe even make healthcare more expensive?
Great questions. That's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep those brains buzzing.